If you know nothing about investing, the stock market, or just money in general, read this book right here, The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. This is hands down one of the best personal finance books. It completely changed the way I view money and how I invest and how I build wealth in my own life. And in this video, I want to share 10 key takeaways from this book that changed my life. But before we begin, I just want to take a quick second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Shortform, but more on that later. 1. Master money. Most people have much more important things to do with their lives than constantly be thinking about money. However, we all need to take the time to master it because, as the author explains, money is the single most powerful tool we have for navigating this complex world we've created, so understanding it is critical. Regardless of who you are, money plays a huge role in your life. I mean, we all spend a huge chunk of our lives trying to make it. And if you don't take the time to master it, you will be a servant to money. But if you master money, money will be a servant to you. So many people don't take the time to learn and understand money, and so their whole life revolves around money. But when you take the time to understand it and master it, money allows you to do some incredible things. 2. Be your own financial advisor. Now, some people might interpret mastering money as getting some smart financial advisor to manage all of their investments. However, there's a problem that the author has with financial advisors, and it's that your interest and the interest of the financial advisor don't align. Because your interests are to get as big of a return as possible and make sure your future self is comfortable. Whereas the interest of the financial advisor is to get commission and fees from their clients. The simple truth about money is that nobody will take better care of your money than you. Nobody is going to care more about your money than you because it's your money and you worked hard to make it, and putting the responsibility on someone else is a risky thing to do. So take the time to learn the basic skill of investing and become your own financial advisor, because nobody is going to take better care of your money than you. 3. Live a simple life. There's a short story in the book of these two boys that grow up and pursue very different paths in life. One becomes a humble monk, the other a powerful minister to the king. Later in life, when these two men meet, the minister looks at the thin, shabby monk and offers advice. You know, if you could learn to cater to the king, you wouldn't have to live off rice and beans. To which the monk replies, if you could learn to live on rice and beans, you wouldn't have to cater to the king. In our society, I think that the monk's lifestyle would be a more simple life of few possessions, no luxuries, and few responsibilities. And the minister's lifestyle would be a complex life of abundance, luxuries, and many responsibilities. And the author argues that the closer you live to the monk's lifestyle, the less worries, less responsibilities, and more freedom you have. And we should all strive to live a more simple life, because when your life is simple, you have more options. Now, before I move on to the next one, I just want to take a quick moment to talk about today's sponsor, Shortform. Shortform is an app that allows you to read or listen to short, condensed summaries of your favorite books in a variety of different genres like finance, business, or education. And they have a huge, ever-growing selection of books like The Simple Path to Wealth, along with all my favorite personal finance books. And my favorite part about Shortform is that it helps me decompress what I've read and review the main points of a book. And they have many exercises that help me think through what I read. What options would having FU money give you? Sticking it to the man, of course, but Shortform is a great app to expand your knowledge on a variety of different topics. And to get a free trial, along with 20% off your annual subscription, click on the link in my description, shortform.com/laugustine, and thank you Shortform for sponsoring this video. 4. Debt is unacceptable. Debt is a very normal part of our society, and many people view debt as their ticket to the good life. Which is why, as a country, Americans have a combined $12 trillion of debt, consisting of $8 trillion in home mortgages, $1 trillion in student loans, and $3 trillion in consumer debt. However, this good life that people go in debt for comes with a very hefty price tag because your lifestyle is diminished to pay off loans. You're enslaved to your income. Your stress levels are high. Your options are limited, and you lose hope. You should never look at debt as a normal, acceptable thing because when you have debt, you can't live your life to the fullest. You should view debt as an unacceptable thing and avoid it at all costs. And if you have debt, you should do everything you possibly can to pay it off. 5. Have FU money. You don't need to be a millionaire to have freedom in your life. You just need something that the author calls FU money. And FU money is exactly what it sounds like. It's enough money to tell people FU. The best thing that money can buy is the ability to tell people FU. Is somebody telling you something you don't want to do? FU. Your boss is a jerk? FU. You always want to be in a position of FU because it gives you the freedom to do what you want and work for whom you respect. Most people live paycheck to paycheck and are slaves to money, and they're unable to tell people FU. But if you take the time to build up your nest egg and not live paycheck to paycheck, you gain the ability to tell people FU. 6. Buy index funds. The title of this book is The Simple Path to Wealth. And the simple path to wealth is invest in index funds. If you just invest in index funds, which if you don't know what they are, I made a video on it up here, you can build wealth very easily in your life because index funds are extremely simple and extremely profitable. I mean, the market returns an average of 10% a year, and you can double your money in 6 to 8 years. And you might think that you can get better returns and build your wealth quicker by investing in stocks, but the truth is 89% of professional investors can't beat index funds in the long term. And those are people who went to Ivy League schools and studied economics. They're much smarter than you and I in this subject. And if you can put your ego aside, invest in index funds, although they're not as exciting as stocks, you can build your wealth over time. It's the simple path to wealth. 7. Don't watch the news. Every single day in the financial world, someone is telling you that the sky is falling, a recession is coming, the stock market is about to crash, inflation will ruin the dollar. And why do we constantly hear these bad stories? Well, it's very simple. Money. There's a lot of money to be made telling these economic doomsday stories because when you say bad, scary things, it gets people's attention. And that attention translates to selling ads, buying products, and convincing people to make bad decisions, which translates to a lot of this. Nobody can predict the future. And if somebody tells you they can, it's because they're trying to make money off you some way. There is zero benefit to watching the news. All it does is make you worry and panic. And that can ultimately make you make bad decisions in life. So just avoid yourself the headache and never watch the news. 8. The market always goes up, but it's never a smooth ride. The problem with watching the news is that they focus so much on the short term, and when you look at the short term of the stock market, it's a very bumpy ride. I mean, if you look at it in a day, it's all over the place. If you look at it over a month, it seems like the sky is falling. And if you look at it over a year, it's terrifying. However, when you zoom out and look at the big picture, it has always gone up over the last 100 years. In the book, the author explains, the market always goes up, but it's never a smooth ride. There is no such thing as getting a reward without some risk involved, and if you invest your money in the stock market, you have to expect that there are going to be moments when you lose money. And Collins says, what determines whether the market will make you wealthy or broke is what you do during the times it is collapsing. If you don't panic sell and just hold on when times are tough, your money will eventually recover because the market always goes up. 9. Marry a financially responsible person. You can choose to make good financial decisions for yourself, but you can't choose to make good financial decisions for other people. I mean, people are who they are, and they can't be changed. And possibly one of the biggest things that will determine your financial future is who you marry. And if you choose to marry someone that is extremely materialistic, takes on debt, and doesn't save, it doesn't matter how good your decisions are because their decisions will ultimately affect you. But if you marry someone who's on the same page financially and wants to live a simple life, be debt-free, and be financially independent, then you can work on your goals together and live a richer life. And so it's important to find a like-minded partner. 10. The 4% rule. In the book, the author explains that there's two financial phases that we have in life, and that's wealth accumulation and wealth preservation. And most people watching this are probably in the wealth accumulation phase. However, you reach the wealth preservation phase when you achieve something called the 4% rule, which is when you can live off 4% of your investments, you are financially independent. For example, if your yearly expenses are $40,000, you need $1 million invested because 4% of $1 million is $40,000. And in theory, when you can live off 4% of your investments, your money will last you until you're done so, until you're in the ground wondering why you wasted so much of your life worrying about money. Avoid debt, spend less than you earn, and invest the surplus. And that is the simple path to wealth. And with that, muchas gracias. Que tenga un buen día. Video 140. Nos vemos, chicos.